Welcome to NWA Cane Corso's podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
All right, we in there. Hey, P-Don, what's going on, my brother?
What's going on with you, man? What's happening? What's happening?
Oh, man, same old, same old.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Another day above ground is always good.
That's
bro.
it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it, sir.
You know, the people was on me about getting you back, you know.
Right?
And, you know, sometimes life get a little bit in the way, you know.
Yeah, that's how it happened, man.
Yeah. What y'all weather look like down there?
Well, it's a pretty nice day, I have to say. It's pretty nice, you know.
Okay, we free.
Weather's kind of cool, but I'm sure the temperature gonna drop tonight.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything new in your world, brother?
Well, right now we instituting our puppy program.
Okay.
Because what we're attempting to do is influence people. They call us influencers these days, right? And so what we're attempting to do is influence people and show them how having puppies trained already, right, is a very good way to go. It's going to be the wave of the future, right?
Yeah.
And the idea is to look at where we are right now. People's schedules are different, you know. They're busy. Things are faster, right? And so with the puppy becomes a problem after a while, right? Because he or she, is in the way. They're just doing everything. They're all over the place. Everybody likes the warm and fuzzy and cuddly, but when it comes to after the warm and fuzzy cuteness wears off, that's where the problem's at. Right. So the idea is simple. If you have a puppy that's already been cultivated, it's already been developed, then what's going to happen? You're going to have a much better relationship because they coincide with your relationship because the training is designed to coincide with your relationship. It's not just mechanical, right? Mechanical is I got my dog trained, down, up, sit, down, up, sit. That's mechanical, right? But it's not reason, right? It doesn't answer the problems that plague people every day, right?
Yeah. So sound like some bonding involved there.
Exactly. And so when we become those parents, right? Right? Because you're talking about a puppy getting trained 12 hours a day as opposed to an hour. Go home, come back, do your homework.
Gotcha.
Right? You're talking about this development, right? Things that really happen in people's everyday life happens to this puppy's everyday life. So by the time he or she comes out the program, they looking at other dogs like they're abnormal. Like, oh, I thought all dogs were trained. What's wrong with this guy? Right?
Right.
And we put our seal on it by, making sure that we're demonstrating that because the puppy does not have the puppy doesn't have on a collar.
Oh, okay. What age you start that at?
We start them off at 6 weeks old.
6 weeks. Okay.
6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. The younger we can get them, the easier it is to influence them.
Gotcha. All right.
When you're dealing with dogs, it's a whole different brick.
Yeah. I know people are probably gonna be hell of interested in that.
Yeah. So that's really what it is. It's a 10 to 15 week program, but it's also at my discretion. So if I decide that your puppy has not reached this level that he or she should be at, then I keep him, right? But it's no additional charge to you.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fair.
So after 10 weeks, there's no charge.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, so let me get off into some of these viewers' questions. And here's the first one.
Okay.
Is it possible for protection dogs to be trained to civil aggression towards adults and be social towards children?
Is it possible for what? Protection dogs?
Yeah. Is it possible for protection dogs to be trained to civil aggression towards adults and be social towards children?
The reason I asked it twice, because I know the question, I'm familiar with it, but I asked it twice because it started off with, is it possible for protection dogs? Well, no dog starts off as a protection dog. They were bred for a purpose. That purpose has been cultivated and the abilities have been amplified, right? But when you're talking about a dog learning protection and being civil protection and then being good with kids and people in everyday life, the answer is yes.
Okay. Okay.
The answer is yes.
Gotcha. All right. Okay, here's another one. When I'm doing the agitation with the weapon being a piece of plastic pipe, my dogs hold on to it for too long, but has improved his focus to the agitator. If I don't use, man, sorry, if I don't use right on the agitator, any advice is much. I got confused on that question. I didn't understand that question. Well, let me read that again. When I'm doing agitation with the weapon being a piece of plastic, my dog holds on to it for too long. It has improved its focus to the agitator. Any advice is much appreciated. I'll let you tackle that however you want.
Okay, so what he wants to know is how do I get my puppy or my dog to let go? Right? They hold on it for too long. Ask me that question one more time because I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
The
When
first
I'm
part.
doing the agitation with the weapon being a piece of plastic, okay, my dog holds on to it for too long.
Mhm.
Any advice would be
Okay, yeah, that's it. I thought I had it. Okay, so yeah, he holds on to for too long because number one, they didn't develop obedience, right? They developed a bite, right? And obedience has to come first. Discipline come first, right?
yelling out.
The dog's greatest mindset should be focused on the owner. Remember, protection is the highest form of obedience, but you have nothing to reflect upon if the obedience is not first, if it's not primary, right? And so what happens is, as I said before, and I'm going to help this guy because when somebody asks for help, you help them. The idea is that most of these guys won't ask for help. So, I don't want to be so pissed off to guys that don't ask for help that when a guy asks for help, I say, no, to hell with you. You're just over there. What I tell him is, you're going to have to contact me and become a subscriber, right? And then I will walk you through that process, right? Because he needs that direct attention. I need to watch him work his dog, right? And then I need to point out to him what he needs to do, right? But yes, that can be, how would you deal with that? It's easy. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that because it's not easy for him, but it's a doable situation. And yes, I can help you. You need to become a subscriber so I can get in detail with it. Because without you being a part of the action that needs to take place, right, it may be misguided information. And I could say you did it wrong, but I'm responsible for what I give you, and I have to watch over what I give you until I know you understand. Otherwise, it becomes irresponsible for me to give you a quick antidote, which really becomes a problem. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you want some help from me, I'd be glad to help him. Tell him to become a subscriber on TikTok or Canine Development University on Instagram, and then we'll take it from there.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
All
we
right.
can do it live.
Okay. Cool. Is a defensive dog working out of fear?
Well, haha, that's a really interesting question.
It is.
Because fear comes upon all of us, right? And so your fears can be projected to your dog. Your lack of knowledge, being in a situation where you don't really know what to do and you're executing it is doubt. And that doubt turns into fear. So your puppy or your dog is going to demonstrate the same fear you're hiding, right? So now to tip that question a little bit more, like I was opening a combination lock, I would say fear is, he said, well, give me that part again about the fear.
He asked, was a defensive dog working out of fear?
Okay, so I said this, I think, before. Defensive dogs working out of fear can also mean a lack of knowledge, right? Like if you don't know, you're going to be a little. If you're driving a Rolls Royce, you never drove the Rolls Royce. You drove a Chevy, you ain't never drove a Rolls Royce. You're going to be fearful because it's an expensive car, right? But not because you're the boogeyman. You know, I'm being animated because I need to separate what that fear is, right? Because you just say fear to everybody, it means the same thing. But fear can be also reverence, right? There's a type of reverential fear, right? So if the dog has too much respect for the agitator or the trainer, they're going to act in fear because of who the person is. But you take them to somebody they don't know, you know, they have not been exposed to, they might not show any fear at all, right? So fear is respect to a certain degree. And is he working out of fear? I got to stick with my answer, right? I'm trying to figure it out to turn it in a direction where we agree, but I don't disagree with the person. I'm only saying that you have to define your words based on the situations. And if you apply your situations to the word, the definitions change. And the definitions change because of the emphasis that's being placed on the word. In this case, the emphasis is the action, right? So the action being placed on the word determines the definition, right? So actually, based on the scenarios implemented in the process, based on what I said before, they act out of fear because of what they don't know. But it's not the boogeyman fear, like I'm afraid of you. No, I don't want to do protection. I want to be a guilty dog. Forget this. I'm not here doing this. It's not that type of fear, right? It's a fear that says the agitator does not know how to develop. Everything is about development. Agitators just agitate. It's the responsibility of the owner to know whether or not their agitator is just an agitator. Agitators are usually not problem solvers, right? So if a dog shows fear, which is really not fear, he don't know how to answer that to explain to the dog, oh, you could do this. Let me show you how. Let me show you what you do. I'm going to do this. You just do. Okay, that right there, that was good. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. Now, go ahead, Cole. Do it one time. Okay, one time. But he seemed like the agitator, the trainer seems like he's the enemy, but he's explaining to the dog where you lack, how I'm going to get you out of it. Just keep following me. Just keep trying to bite me. Okay, when I do this, you try to bite me. All right? You know, that's really what's going on in my mind when I'm talking to the dog through action. Then finally, I explain it to the dog through action. And now the dog completely understands and he or she responds. Make sense?
Makes good sense.
You know what I mean?
Yep. All right. Thank you, Peter, for that. Let me get to this other one. How do I find good agitators?
Oh, that's hard.
Oh, boy, I bet.
That's hard, right? Because they think they know already. So let's assume that the person asking the question is somebody substantial with some substance, right? So they're asking the question because they see me as a possible source to the answer, right? But they already know what a bad agitator is, right? And he's saying, how do I find good ones? And this is what I say. You come into alliance with somebody like me, right? Let's stop. This is for everybody in the dog world, all over the world. Stop getting with people because you like them. Do you know how many people out there training dogs with somebody because that's my friend and I like him? You know, I know his kids. I know his kids. I know all his kids. You know, he was my boy back in the day. You know, dude, your dog trainer's dumb as a box of rocks. You don't know what the hell he's doing. You with him because you like him. Why you don't want to go to Peter? I'm like, man, I don't like that so-and-so. You know what I heard? Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question, brother. What you heard? Did you ever go to Peter Omega and ask him what you heard? Is it true? Did you ever talk to him? Oh, no, man. You know I don't want. Stop going to people because you like them. Let me tell you about professional racers, professional basketball players, professional football players. They don't even have to like the coach they hire. But if that summer gun can get them to that NFL championship, he on. Right. He on. They know if he coaching, He owned my worst player gonna become my better player, right? That race car driver, what does he do? That race car driver champions 1 second. He said, Prophet, I need 3 seconds. Can you give me 3 seconds? But I can't stand you.
Right.
I can't stand you.
Yeah.
I can't stand you, man. Look, don't even stand over here. I just can't stand you. But would you give me 3 seconds? Sure, I'll give you 3 seconds. Bam. Those are professional people. A lot of the people in the dog world, I hate to say it, but they're not professional. They do things on their emotions. Somebody got in an argument with somebody else, right? So they don't want to come around me because they don't want that person who don't change the price of tea, who don't make the sun come out or the moon come out, who don't change the price of gasoline. You letting that person decide the future of you and your dog. That makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
At all, right? You want to get with somebody that knows it. So I can be several roles. I'm a trainer, but I can be an agitator. See? Right? Right? Because I was an agitator before I was a trainer. Right? So you get with that. You do that, right? You get with somebody, and if you're not in the state, you know what I mean? Then you're going to have to look for people who have something that makes them stand out. Right? If you take my classes, I'll show you how to get people you couldn't even imagine will be able to be an agitator because we've been taught wrong, right? I got a student right now, just got a puppy. I don't know if he even worked this puppy today, but it only takes a few minutes a day to make that puppy like a walking, brilliant puppy, right? But a lot of people want to work how? All day long. Man, we work 7 hours. And he's dumb as a box of rocks.
Right.
And he hates protection, right? He's losing his mind. He has no direction. He's not sound. Why? Because you're overworking him. See, you're overworking him. Good agitation doesn't take all day. Right. It takes the right people, right? So how do you find them? If you out of state, you know, that's hard. I'm just going to tell you, that's hard, you know, because, you know, I don't know. A lot of these guys use suits, right? But you have to have some knowledge yourself, right? And so I can only suggest the truth, and that the truth is take a class from me, and I'll make you equipped to be able to find an agitator anywhere.
Gotcha. Good answer.
I mean,
yep. So, what are the pros and cons of online dog training?
Online dog training is going to be the future, right? Because people just can't travel. Diseases don't let them travel. Their jobs don't let them travel. Their children don't let them travel. It's just too many variables, man. We could just say anything. Oh, he's scared. His wife run him. Whatever. Oh, man, he ain't no real dog. Say what you want to say, man. It's life. You either adjust to life or lose out, right? That's why I started going online, right? Because what? People need me, right? And I'm capable of getting them where they want to get, right? So the pros of online training are it takes care of all of those inconveniences that keep you from being able to travel, right? It also smashes like a world of what? Expenses, right? It's the world of expenses, right? It also what? Keeps you from not being focused. You could be focused. You say, why? Because you don't have the distraction of, dang, I got to hurry up and get done. Dang, I got to hurry up and get back. You know what I mean? Oh, man, I don't know if I'm making this meeting on time. All those things that corrupt the information that you're getting that's not going to stay, right? Because you can't focus. Now, the pros, when you're online, you got to set aside some time. You got to block out all the noise. You can't come with your defenses up, right? And you got to be willing to go live, and you got to be willing to make some mistakes. But you got your teacher right there to help you, right? So you say, what's the cons? Well, to be honest with you, I can't think of too many, right? Because I've tried to find reasons not to go online, right? But everything says go online, right? Everything says go online. And so the negative side of, if I had to just force one out of myself, it would be you're not in my presence to get the full impact.
Yeah.
That would be it. That'd be it. But if you go in a classroom with me online and I have your undivided attention, you know what I mean? And I can get into you, because I can tell when somebody's not focused, right? And I'm going to just politely say, hey, let's try this another time.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? Your kids can't be, and I know you love your kids. I know you want to show your wife that you love your children and nothing more important than your children. But let me ask you a question. You say nothing's more important than your kids. Okay, that sounds like a real romantic, fuzzy, huggable answer. And I'm sure your wife's going to love you for saying that. But let me ask you this. Since you say that's true, right, how about you just don't go to work and stay home with your kids? Just stay at home, because nothing's more important. A check, man, frick a check. Check's nothing. That's nothing. My kids are more important. No, to be able to take care of your kids is more important.
Right.
It's not always applicable to have your kids in on everything you're doing. I'm sorry, that just ain't so. Right? So it sounds good, but it's not so. If you come to the online class and you don't have your kids on there jumping all over the place, you're gonna learn something.
Mm-hmm. No
right?
distraction.
That's right. If you can take the fact that I am mean as hell, you're gonna learn something. Right? Because I'm not getting online with you to be your friend. I'm getting online with you to do your service. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe a friendship will develop. But more than likely, friendships develop for me out of a person that's committed to what they say. Right? Because I know the best thing I can do right now at 65 years old is talk. I got to start talking. Right? Because I can't
teach,
baby. Teach. That's it. I can't go all over the world teaching in every little nook and corner. Right? Yeah. So even I have to make an adjustment. Am I right about it?
Cool.
You know what I mean? So the pros of online training, I've already spoke about them. The cons, I got to tell you, there's not that many. You know, if you really want to get it, I'll give it to you.
That's right. All right. Okay. This question, okay. How do you approach training defensive dogs differently compared to other types of dogs? I don't know.
Okay.
Prairie dogs. I don't know where he's going. Maybe
Well, when he says other type of dogs, he means more than likely he means what do you call that? That shits and stuff. What do you call it? PSA. Sport. Right. Well, defensive dogs. The wonderful thing about a defensive dog is that they start out with a real situation. Right. Defensive dogs always start with what's real. Right. Sport dogs are developed out of playing. They play. How many videos have we seen crop up lately? Nobody wanted to be seen, but they popped up, right? This guy is a white boy, right? He was working a dog, right? And the dog was hot. I mean, just on fire. And they showed him, and he just looked good. He looked good at his work. He took that same dog and went down the field, right? He took that sleeve off and took a clapper and clap in his hand, laid the sleeve down right beside him. When the dog got down there, he reached down to pick up that sleeve. He did this on video. Like, you guys, are y'all not tired of lying to yourselves? I mean, this was a fierce, driven, high drive dog, and he went straight and got that sleeve. Another guy got hit, right, by a dog that's a sport dog, right? And the sleeve accidentally came off in a show. Accidentally. The dog grabbed the sleeve and ran around. And everybody clapped for the dog. And he just ran around like he got his reward, right? And the guy had to play it off. Of course, he was shook, but he had to play it off. And so how you train a dog defensively as opposed to a sport dog is simple, right? The dog that is a sport dog is for play. You start out playing with the dog and you end up playing with the dog. Whatever you start off with is what you end up with. If it was played in, how do you know it's play? Because the owner can take the dog and work the dog too. The owner can put on the sleeve and the dog will bite him too. But he's not biting him, is he? No, he isn't. He's biting the sleeve. Right? A defensive dog, the owner can never work his own dog because that dog is worked with flesh. Right? That dog is working with flesh. So he's going to eat your butt up. He's not going to differentiate. He's going to eat your, oh, you my owner, so I ain't biting you. No, hit him and discipline him for something you didn't like, and see him only turn around and make you feel it.
Yeah.
Right? Now you got to get rid of him, right? Because Because you tried to train him and prove me wrong. Go ahead and do it. But don't go get no dog that's got the real ingredients, because if you do, you're going to be in the hospital. And you're going to blame the dog, but it's really your fault.
Right.
Right. So when you start out with if you notice all my videos, let me tell you something I'm not supposed to do. I am not supposed to ever go on the floor with my hands empty, ever. I do it all the time. Not supposed to do it. It's against the rules. It's against Lieutenant Earl Jones's rules. Always have something in your hand. But I always like to make myself different from everybody else. So I always go out on the floor empty-handed. Right? That means that my dogs have to learn from this. They got to learn from this. And a lot of you guys can't get close enough to a dog because you're afraid. Right? Let's just tell the truth. You don't want to go where I'm going. That's the valley of death. You don't want to go there because you're afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But stop being afraid and go to school. It ain't like I'm not, hey, I'll teach you. It ain't like, no, it's all mine. Brother, I don't want to die. I pray in the mighty name of Yahushua that I live forever. I pray that when Christ returns that I get caught up with him and never see death. The Bible says some of us will never see death. But just in case I do go to the ground, I don't want my skills to go with me. Right? There will be a sin and a shame for me to die and nobody gets this. Right? I'm attempting to teach people how to do it. I am not so full of myself that I don't want nobody to know it. I'd be happy to have people run me over to teach them. Mm-hmm. Online, in person, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I'm not telling you there's no cost attached. That would be a lie. It's foolish for anybody, for me especially, to work and not get paid. And it's foolish for you to, Say what, sir? Time is money. That's right. And it's foolish for you to want me to work and not get paid. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. That's just crazy. But the whole all praise be to the Most High God. Guess what I do? I make it affordable.
That's right.
You say, well, what do you mean affordable? I didn't say cheap. Right. But I make it affordable. You said why? Because I need my seeds in the earth. Mm-hmm. You got to sign a contract when you come with me. You can't just come let me train you and then you walk around saying you did it. No, you're going to admit that I trained you because you got a contract.
Affordable is sacrifice. Don't stop buying lunch every day. Take your lunch. Yeah. Different things you can cut out to get a goal accomplished. You know.
That's right. That's right. That's going to make you money for the rest of your life. If they burn the whole building down at work, you can go in your backyard and start your business because you're walking around with your gift. Right? You don't need a toolbox or nothing. You got it all right in you, right? Can't nobody take it from you. As long as you can walk, talk, and see, you can do it. You know?
That's right.
So yes, all praise be to the Most High God. I'm happy and thank God for you because you've created a platform for us to be able to round up the posse. And so all praise be to the Most High God. I'm thankful for that because I get a chance to tell people with a reputable person that these things are available.
That's
right. And there's no sense in letting it die with me. I tell you what, here's the challenge for you. Go be better than me.
That's right.
There you go. There's the challenge. Go be better than me. Come beat the teacher, right? Mm-hmm. I got something for you, right? All praise be to the Most High God. And that's what I want to do, right? Is get people trained so I'm not the only one with the information. I don't want to be a part of a clique that only these people keep getting and these people don't. If you black, white, green, purple, short, fat, whatever. If you want to do it and you want to be committed, I'll do it. I won't even take your money for a certain period of time. You know why? I don't want it. I want your passion. See, I want your passion. If you're not passionate about it, I'm not interested in your money. Period. Right? I'm just not interested. I don't want your money. I want you to want this for you. I can't want for you anything more than you want for yourself. I can't be more committed to you than you are to yourself.
Right.
See? And what happens is far too many of us get involved with things and then we get mad at something and then we quit. Let's stop doing that, right?
That's right. Yeah. Okay. All right. We got a couple more here, and let me see. How do you? Okay. We read that one. What techniques do you use to build trust and confidence in defensive dogs?
The technique I use, I can answer this like right here. The techniques I use are all about discipline, praise, eye contact, touch, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you watch my videos on my profile on Instagram or TikTok, there's a bully puppy on there. He don't have no leash and no collar on. Watch his tail. That tail is just going. It's just going. It's just bam, 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 bam. It's always, but I wasn't always giving him treats all the time. I was disciplining them too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We like to give people the false perception that you just wave your wand and give him some candy dust and never say anything mean to him. And I promise you he'll come out like this. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a lying geothistle, and when you walk, your booty hole whistle. You're a liar. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? No way. You got to balance it out. Have you ever seen a kid get a spanking and come right back up to their parent and get in their lap?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it's all love.
Kids, that's right. Kids appreciate discipline. Dogs do too.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs do too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They say the closest thing to a monkey, to a human is a monkey, a primate, right? I think the closest thing to a human is a dog.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just believe that. I just believe that a dog is just so amazing. They're just so amazing. A monkey is a little bit vindictive. You hit him, you discipline him, he might bite you in the face.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Lick back, yeah, for sure.
That's right. That's right. That's
right. Yeah. Man, you said one of them sayings, man, I ain't never heard from. Man,
I'm starting to enjoy the fact that I'm the older guy, right?
Yeah.
And so I like to. You remember that little video on Facebook? You said, man, you ever met one of them old guys, man? You meet them in the morning, you getting ready to go to work and everything, and the old guy could get to hitting you with them phrases. You know what I'm saying? You seen that? That's me.
Yeah. Oh, especially being from the South, I thought I heard them all. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, I ain't heard this one. I used to hear my dad be like, man, that dude phony than a $4 bill.
Yeah.
Well, you pull one out, boy. You pull one out. I tell my mom, hey, well, I heard a new one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me go. I lost track. Let me see here. Bam. Okay. What all going support? How do you shoot it? Okay, here's a good one. How do you handle defensive dogs in public settings or when encountering strangers?
Well, if I'm getting this right, I don't know how you getting it, but if I'm getting this right, he's saying or she's saying, I want my dog to be nice. Behave. Right? I want my dog to be calm and behave, right? Mm-hmm. You got to go back to the beginning. One, how you raise them. Mm-hmm. If you can, don't raise another puppy without getting them into development, getting them into a private university like mine, right? Mm-hmm. It's not the same. It's not mechanical, right? It's about substance. So when puppies turn into dogs, they encounter people differently. They don't see them as a threat. They see them as a human being in society. And they develop the constitutional laws and commandments that adjudicate they need to act a certain way. So if there's no reason to act a certain way, you don't. You don't cross the light. You don't cross the street when the light is red. You cross it when it's green. They respond to those constitutions, right? And that's what you got to start with. If you're unfortunately already into a dog, you got to go back to obedience. You got to go back to obedience. It's not mechanical. You're not missing the mechanics. You probably already got a dog to sit down up to, and this stuff is still not working, right? Okay, so there's something missing. You're not being taught, and you're not being taught because the people don't know, right? You're talking to people to pretend with you. What are they doing? Oh, well, he's a little easty-westy. It was raining today, so Fiverr didn't really wanna. He kind of withdrew, and they do all these little entertaining, soft statements because you don't know no better, and they draw you in with them, and you go home with a lollipop, right? You know, and it's a bunch of bull crap. The truth of the matter is they are not equipped to teach what your dog is missing. So if you want that to happen, I got to keep telling the truth. You got to send them someplace where people know. In my university, they know, right? They know, right? And so because that's what I teach them, so they do what I teach them, right? And that's what you got to have. You're actually in this question, you're proving to me that just having sit down, come stay is not what you need. It's part of the mechanical process, but it's not the substance, not the root of thing that makes the person, the dog know that jumping on people is annoying. Like everybody ain't thrilled to see you, right? And so we teach that to them through what? Obedience and distractions, right? Obedience and distractions, right? And we keep exposing them until they get the full picture, because every distraction is not somebody slamming on the floor, somebody shaking plastic bottles. I mean, who the hell going to walk down the street with plastic bottles and shake at your dog? That's just not going to happen. But I tell you what will happen. A truck will pull up and make that huge truck sound, right, and blow your dog off his mind because it's scary. It's even scary to a human, right? Or 5 or 6 people will come walking by at the same time, and your dog gets lost in the middle of those 5 or 6 people, right? He or she has to learn how to keep their emotions intact, right? So you don't, watch this person who asked this question, you don't start that in the street. You start that in the university, right? You do all the breakdowns in the university, and those breakdowns have to be what? Explanations. Explanations. You're explaining to the dog. I got a killing for a dog. So what? My dogs are barking like crazy. No, everybody's just going, how many balls? No, how many balls? But all I have to do is say, stop talking. I don't say stop barking. I don't say shut up. Sometimes if I get a little flustered, I'll say shut up. But I stay on point most times. I say stop talking. See? And everybody stops talking at the same time because they all know what that is. Because they're not just barking. It's called barking because scientifically that's what it's referred to, right? But it's really talking.
Talking, yeah.
Now you just have to figure out what they're talking about. Like I walk up to some dogs and say, man, why don't you stop talking? You really ain't talking about nothing. You just running your mouth to be running your mouth. And he's sitting there looking at me. So you got to shut up to listen. So he stops and listens, right? And then he stops. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to go back to it, but my job is to keep introducing them to that. Keep introducing them to that. Keep introducing all day long, 12 hours a day. I keep introducing them. Why? Because they have some scenario all day that upsets their natural flow as an animal, right? And so I have to keep introducing them to the human flow. Now, when they get away from all those other dogs and they're around people and you say, stop talking, it's just automatic. It's no competition. See? So it has to be something that's a strong influence on your puppy or your dog constantly, right? So that's how you get that. That's how you get that. Then I give those controls to the owner. He's not the master. We say that, but that's not true. He is the owner. He owns the papers. He owns the dog's bowl. He gives them a place to live. He gives them food to eat. He owns them like a car, right? But he is not the master, because if he or she was the master, they could tell their dog to stop talking. You master them, right? You master them, right?
That's right. Hey,
right?
That's why they got to get in the K9 universe. You can't get it nowhere else.
That's right.
Golly.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. When you go out in public, you're not constantly teaching your dog distractions, because the dog or puppy learns the focus is you. You're the focus. So when you move, he moved just like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's why it works, because you're the master. But now when you just the owner, that means nothing. There's a guy, you got a race car and you don't really drive race cars, but you got one, right? But there's a guy who's driven race cars, can take your race car and drive it in the ground because he's expert, right? Now you're the owner of that car, but he's the master.
That's right.
You want to become your dog's master. So solving the problem, in closing to that question, is becoming the dog's master, not just owner.
Gotcha. All right, understood. Okay. How do you ensure the safety of both the dog and people around when working with defensive dogs?
Well, it goes right back to the same thing. It sounds rhetorical, but it's just the truth, right? You only have to ensure when you have a lot of things that are not present, right? Like he or she is keyed up all the time. You know, they're always trying to bite somebody. You know, I can't get them to stop when they start biting. That's because you don't have any obedience. You don't have any development. Remember, obedience is the manifestation of discipline, right? Obedience is the manifestation of discipline. So how did your dog manage to get to the highest level of obedience? Right? You skip some things. That's how. You don't really own it. You don't really deserve it. You skip some things. And somebody let you skip them for money. Right? Because they really don't understand the liability. When lawyers get ready to sue people because their dogs bit somebody, sue a person, you know what I'm trying to say. The dog bit somebody, so the lawyer's going to sue on behalf of the family got bit, right? They go after the trainer. Most people don't know that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
They go after the trainer. They go after the person who owned the dog, and then they go after the trainer. And the one thing they ask that trainer, they ask somebody who's around that trainer, or they ask the trainer, or they ask the owner, did he teach you any safeties? What were those safeties that he taught you? Right? Then you're going to have to recite the safeties, but your lawyer is probably going to encourage you not to. He didn't teach me nothing. So now the trainer's liable. But if you come to me, I'm not liable. You say, why? What makes you so different? Because I videotape everything. Right? So if I train your dog, right? If I train your dog, I'm going to show that on the videotape. See, I'm going to show you working the dog on the videotape. Right? All those things are going to be on that video. So I have a record showing the dog exercising restraint.
Yeah.
See?
Okay.
So in over 40 years, I've never had a lawsuit.
Great.
Well, that's not true. I messed up. Sorry. I apologize to you guys.
That's okay.
I got sued once. So the guy took me to court, and he was really, really well dressed and well spoken. And, you know, I look like a dirty, grunchy dog trainer. And so he was talking, and I had to be quiet, because if you go in these cases and you start running your mouth and throwing stones and slurs, you automatically lose. So he was hoping to incite that in me, but he didn't know how skilled I was. And, you know, I lose by default. So when he finished talking, I asked Your Honor, I said, Your Honor, how is it that possible that this guy is suing me for not training his dog and his dog is not present? Everybody like, whoa. I said, Your Honor, we should just make another date and force him to bring that dog in, or I win, right? The guy showed up with the dog, right? I was hoping and praying, because it was judges there, police there. I'm going to need some new customers. You know, I'm a young cat. I'm thinking about the next move, right? That dog came in the courtroom. I called his name. He ran over to me like he was mine, right? I said, get in place, boy. That dog said, shoot. I said, stay. He stayed. Down, up, come, get in place. Stop. He stopped on the slick floor and slid. The judge went crazy. He said, "Get out of my courtroom and get that man his money. By the end of the day, I'm putting you in jail."
Oh wow, yeah.
Yes, sir.
The dog probably didn't respond to him because he knew he was an asshole or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's probably it. That's probably it. I worked him to death, man. But yeah, all praise be to the Most High. You know, yeah, we just have to be consistent and join my online classes, because I can tell you one thing: you're gonna get a lot of stories, because I love to tell stories. I'm old. I get to tell stories. right? But I love to teach. I love to teach. So there's no way you could lose. Right? There's no way you could lose if you came there with the right mind. Now, like I said before on the last telecast, if you come in there telling me what they did at your old school, I'm going to tell you to take your butt back over there to your old school. Don't come in here talking about what somebody did over there. That ain't going to help you over here. And it didn't help you because you came here because you got a problem. So either stay here and learn or take your butt over there.
That's right. So
you know what I'm saying?
I got one more, and you've been talking about it. You've been bringing it up, the K9 University. This is the last question. What ongoing support or resources do you provide to dog owners after the training sessions?
Oh, wow, that's a good one. Here's the support. I saw that question, and I couldn't wait to answer it.
Yeah.
My students, first of all, the owners are students. The dogs are students. That's the first thing you get from me. You become my student. You don't become a guy coming to get his dog trained or a woman coming to get your dog trained. You become my student. That's a personal pronoun, right? I take personal pride in you. And the last part to answer that question is, you never lose that. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means?
What does it mean?
It means this. Once you finish taking your classes, you can come to me for refreshments for life at no extra charge.
That's what's up.
You can come for life, right? You'll never run out of classes. Your classes are infinite. As long as you tell me you need my help, you can come. You can't get no new stuff for no money, but what you're working on, you can always get help with.
Great. Yeah, that's great. Cool. Well, P. Dunn, yeah, they was on me. They was like, man, when you gonna have them back? I was like, get busy. So, yeah, man, we appreciate it. I really appreciate you. Even the first time, man, I really had some great guests. You come back anytime, bro. Anytime.
All praise be to the Father. I appreciate you so much, man. If you need anything from me, please reach out to me. I know we're both busy. We've been talking about some things we haven't even touched. But whenever you're ready, I'm here. If the Lord is willing and is pleasing in His sight, and He let me wake up to see another day, I'll be there for you.
That's right. I appreciate it, brother. I know I ain't forgot about it. Just our life been kind of like, woo!
That's it.
So, yeah, man, thank you so much. I'll make sure all your information is in the, what you call it? Happy New Year, brother.
All praise. I'll talk to you soon. Yes, sir.